Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video where we are going to talk about price reductions, what we're seeing in Sac County and Placer County, as well as El Dorado County with the price reductions, different data points, as well as how price reductions really set the market up now, today, the past, we'll call it the past month for price reductions, how that sets up the marketplace for the rest of this year as well as next year in itself. Now, as always, I appreciate you guys supporting my channel. My name is Joshua, local realtor here in the Roseville and Sacramento areas. Now, again, if you want some more specific data points that I have provided in the past, but you want me to go more in detail, please reach out to me wherever you're finding this video. I'd be happy to go over everything real estate video. So now on to it. This is actually from Ryan Ledquist, my man Ryan, over at SacramentoPlayersWithBlog.com. Again, if you guys have yet to check him out, subscribe to his newsletter. He puts out fantastic everything Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado County real estate, as well as Yolo County. And he just does a great job. So we jump into it. This is the 10 things to know about price reductions in today's marketplace. Now, price reductions are growing fast and sellers are still behind the ball. Eventually, they will catch up, but they still haven't gotten there just quite yet. And one thing I do want to touch on is when he says sellers, it's a mix between, I would say it's 80% the agents, realtors that are working with the sellers, and 20% the sellers. It's the realtors not preparing or not doing a good enough job preparing their sellers for this changing marketplace. Sellers. So moving back on to it, the article here. So the truth about price reductions, the one right here, is near 40% of active listings have had a price drop. Now, not every county is the same, but most areas are more or less hovering around 40% of active listings hitting a price drop. And you can see here, Sacramento County's got 38.3%. Placer County is just under 40%. We got Yolo County at 37.3%. And El Dorado County is coming in at 45.1% for a grand total of 39.6% out of all the listings that we currently have in the marketplace. So the demand has obviously shifted. We're seeing twice as many price reductions as last year. Now, this is 40% a normal level of price reductions, he asked. Now, this is a big question, but he gives us a couple visuals of price reductions throughout the year from Altos Research. And if we go and take it out or check it out, you can see that this is Sacramento County, and this is the 7-day moving average with the 90-day moving average. See, now both in the present day, we've just been moving up quite dramatically for the price reductions in Sacramento County. And we are, as you can see, we're just under 40%, just under 30% on the 90-day moving average. Now, as we go over to Placer County, you can see the same thing here is almost flat on a year-over-year basis going back to 2020. We had that huge jump down and then came back up, and then over here in 2021 it was just on a massive rise. But again, we're just under 30%, or you could call it at 30% on the 90-day, and then the 7-day we are just under 40% again. Now the price, there's no price range immune from this slowing trend. Now this, I don't really like these charts too much, but you can see here the $1 million area right here, we are seeing 577 price reductions within the 900,000 to 1 million range. And then going from one step below, we are seeing 559. And basically, we're getting more price reductions in the bigger price category or bigger priced homes, and it's getting smaller and smaller all the way through. So as we move over here, this is a screenshot of Ryan's Instagram, I believe, and he's been having conversations like this with random people that are looking to sell their house, and the seller has stated that a Bay Area tech buyer will pay cash and offer more than anyone else. And then Ryan says that, you mean the tech buyer who just lost a massive chunk of their stock and crypto portfolios. And this is quite true because quite a lot of transactions I have dealt with in the past 2 years have had a lot of leverage through their stock and crypto accounts. And in one of these videos, I forget which corner, I'll put a little link to the video. I actually go deeper into how the flow of the stock markets they don't correlate 100% with each other, but when one goes up with it, one comes down with it. Again, in one of those corners, I'll link that video that I just did a couple weeks ago on that topic. So jumping back to it, it's taking definitely longer to sell, so we have to adjust our expectations. Again, this is like the first point I mentioned. It is up to the agents to be strong and firm and let the sellers know that the marketplace has changed. This year, you could have listed your house on Thursday and you would have had about 10 offers. Okay, just to clarify that with you guys. But the ship has long sailed because it takes multiple weeks or longer in today's market to receive those type of offers. We're still getting those, but it takes longer, it takes more effort, and it takes aggression, like I just said. So his advice, don't expect your home to go into contract in the first weekend. If it happens, that is fantastic. Comes from a strong realtor, great team, but statistically speaking, it probably will not. Now, a spike in the days on market, the black line right here, as we can see, is 2022. And historically, we are beginning to see quite a big jump, one that we saw similar to 2021. So moving on to here, there are more price drops between 2 and 4 weeks. See right here, this is a graph for Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado County. These are the days on markets with the price reduction this week. And you can see between 0 to 7 days, there's been very, very little. 8 to 13, 14 to 20, 21 to 28. And then now back over to this one. This is the days on market properties with a price reduction this week. And we can see again, it's right within the same time period. Within basically the first month of the listing, they are getting price reductions. Now, so how much should sellers reduce their price by? Well, people, there isn't a specific answer. It really depends on how overpriced the properties are, like what's going on in the neighborhood, how much traffic the neighborhood are getting as far as the amount of demand, right, for that specific area. So it really, it varies all throughout the area and how much demand is being driven to that specific area. So now as we move over to these graphs, it goes on to how much sellers are reducing their price. Now we can see that 39.6% of current listings have had a price reduction. That obviously, as we just stated there, and the bulk of them are coming from $5,000 to $10,000, as you can see here. And then they're coming from $10,000 to $25,000, and from Sacramento County or the Sacramento region. Now this is the Placer County region. You can see here it's exactly the same. It mimics. So Placer and Sacramento are mimic each other. We're having the majority of them coming at 5 to 10,000. 10, just slightly less coming in at 10 to 25,000, and then we're barely getting into that $25,000 to $50,000 range. Now, as we move over to Sacramento County as a whole, you can see that again it's the majority of 5 to 10,000, and then we're going into the 10 to 25,000 with just ever so slightly the 25 to 30. Now, Yolo County, we are dead even between the 5 to 10,000 and the 10 to 25,000. And then again, we're barely seeing any more than that. In the county, you can see here that we are getting more with the 29 or with the 10 to 25 than we are with the 5 to 10, but they're pretty close to each other. And we're also seeing a higher jump from the 25 to 50,000 region. Now, El Dorado County does have El Dorado Hills in it, so there are more expensive homes in this county. So with the huge price tags, it encourages more buyers with the bigger price drops. Think about if you had a $1.5 million house and you dropped it $5,000 or $10,000, it really doesn't look like much. But if you drop it 25 to 50, that really the visual of it really entices you to go and check it out. How much of a percentage price drop is happening though? So it all depends on the marketplace. And this is the last graph we're going to go over right here. This is the percentage of price reductions in the price range. So you can see that we just have a huge amount of little dots. The dots represents all Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado County. And you can see that it just really, the majority of it is coming in right now at that 5% mark. And then we're starting to creep into that 5 to 10%. And now the last part I want to get, 40% of these homes are having price reductions. They really want to get it sold. So now the next wave, right? Because it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days to August, right? August, we are seeing these, $5 to $10,000 price reductions now. Well, that drops the home values in that area 5 to 10,000. Because if we get multiple homes, as the charts are showing, multiple homes with these price reductions, well, the whole area just moved down a couple $1,000, and then it moves down again a couple $1,000, right? Do you see the chain reaction here? So this is actually the start, and it's always slow. It always starts out slow like this, where it's just a little bump, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and then it gets a little bit bigger. So whenever we get into the down months of August, September, going into the winter months, when there's not a lot of buyers and people still really want to sell, well, that just puts the price down even more. And then as we get into spring, hopefully we can see a pretty big jump into home prices. But again, we have to really see what the Federal Reserve is going to do. So that is it for today. See you guys next time.